Hey everybody, this video, you may see a little bit of a side of me that you've never seen before or experienced. You may not like it. I'm kind of fired up right now just because of a comment that was made on Facebook that I saw, but here's the deal. I posted a video a few weeks ago when Trump was shot at the rally. I said, I hope this is the first and only political video I ever put out. Well, that's not going to be the case. There's too much at stake to be silent. I don't know how to start this off. I'm going to try to be as politically correct about things as I can and not say anything overly offensive, but we need to have talk. You know, when it was Biden and Trump, I wasn't hardly as worked up as I am now. Now that Kamala Harris and this Tim Walz fellers got involved, I'm taking a little more to heart, I guess. I've watched on both sides, campaign speeches and news, and the news. You know, I know if you're not a Trump supporter, you're gonna think I'm taking this from him, but watch it. Like, it is so biased to one side or the other. Like, Fox, of course, leans a little more Republican. Everything else is more Democrat. You can't get the truth. Like, you have to listen to both of them to learn anything, unless you just want to be a one-track minded on this political subject. But here's where my thoughts stem from. A lot of it's from my background and my upbringing, and I think that most people that fit into my category will agree probably with my thoughts and beliefs on this election coming up. Do I feel like Trump is the absolute best person to run this country? Absolutely not. I think I had wished that maybe somebody good and strong Republican would come out, but do I feel like he'd do a good job? I do feel like he would do a good job. I mean, we had 4 years of Trump. We know what 4 years of Trump are going to be like again, may even be better than it was. Those 4 years was a whole lot better for me financially than these last 4 years have been. And I'm making a whole lot more money right now than I was then, but it's not going anywhere. It's not showing because, you know, the Democrats say there's no inflation. Republicans say there's inflation. Democrats say it's corporate greed. Regardless, the presidents and vice president should have taken control of the situation we're in right now and not let things get out of sight. One thing that's driving these truck and equipment prices up and things is the push to go electric, get rid of fossil fuels. And if this bunch, Harris and Walz, get in, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, don't really care. But if they get in for another 4 years, and Democrats, we are hurting. You will not be able to buy a diesel pickup. I mean, you can't now. I can't. Over up close to $100,000 for something comparable to the truck I've got right now, which is double what I paid for it a few years ago. They're going to try to kill diesel vehicles, and the emissions and things they've been putting on them over the last few years has just got ridiculous. And I know part of that's EPA things, but who backs the EPA? It's mostly the Democrat Party. I'm sure some Republicans agree with the Clean Air Act and all these things, and it's good to be as clean as we can be, but let's not be stupid. DEF fluid and all these plastic jugs and the fluid itself and the cardboard box that's plastic jugs packaged in, plus the liquid, and you burn extra fuel, you know, like on these tractors, they go to regen and they'll set and run, you know, say sometimes 30 minutes or longer. Some of the bigger vehicles, big trucks, buses, and things, they'll regen for an hour and a half on a forced regen. Think of the fuel that's burning and the emissions that's being put out just because of that. It's unnecessary. It's not needed. You know, things you don't hear them say, yeah, let's cut down on emissions on the vehicles. What about these freaking airplanes that's in the sky? You never hear nothing about that. You know why? Because that's what they ride. That's how they get from point A to point B. They can drive from their house or the White House or wherever in an electric car to the airport and then take a plane and pollute the air all to crap. A lot worse, in my opinion, than multiple vehicles would be. You don't hear nothing about that. But now let's cut out the semi trucks and the diesel pickups and the diesel tractors and anything that smokes. We can't have that if it's on the ground. But now if it's in the air, it's fine. That's my pet peeve. And you know, Trump, he was endorsed by Elon Musk, and he even said electric vehicles are not going to work as a solution to everything. Elon would agree with that, I feel like. They're not going to work as a solution. We can't go total electric in this country. It's just not going to happen. I don't think it will ever be in the place to where we can do that. I think we need to look at alternative fuels besides gas and diesel. I don't know what that would be. It's going to take somebody smarter than me to figure that out. But all electric is not going to happen. It just can't. Especially when they're trying to kill coal. We're in a coal country here. A lot of coal-fired power plants. Our electricity's fairly reasonable. It's been going up a lot and things. But I've heard places that shut down all their coal-fired power plants that have really spiked electricity cost. I don't know that. I've seen some figures and things, but we need the coal. I mean, if it's there, let's use it. Use it till it runs out. The power plant over here next to us is one of the cleanest burning coal-fired and wood-fired and natural gas-fired. It's a multi-fuel station, one of the cleanest in the country. We don't get benefit from it, but because we're on a different power company than they are. But we need more stuff like that. They can clean it up, and I mean, you don't even see smoke from it. But we can't stand these higher energy costs. When you start adding electric vehicles into this, trying to get the grid to support it, trying to get the power plants to support the charging of all these electric vehicles, I mean, our cost of things are going to just skyrocket. I mean, it's going to go crazy. And not only because of that, but because they're trying to change fuel sources on the power plants to get them clean. There's so much lack of common sense on the Democrat Party side. You know, Trump, he's a rich man and things, but I feel like he can relate to people that's on our level, because I think people that's on my level and your all's level, a lot of y'all may be a lot better off than I am, probably are. But a lot of people on my level has helped him become the person he is, because he's needed them to do the work for him and things, and he understands what it takes to get projects done and to show people that he appreciates them and things. He said the other day in a thing I was watching, it was an old clip, way before he ever thought about running for president. He said, rich people don't like me. He said, because I'm their competition. But he said, the people that does like me is the taxi drivers in New York City, the sanitation people, the construction workers and things. He said, they like me. And I tend to agree with that. I feel like he's spot on with that, and that was from years ago when he said that. I watched a thing the other day, same video, I guess, clips from Donald Trump for the last 30 years probably, and his beliefs has not changed much, and that's a good sign, in my opinion, that he stayed pretty true to what he's believed in all these years. And yeah, he's gotten some trouble recently. But if they investigated every person in Washington as heavily as Donald Trump was investigated, I'm pretty sure that they would find a whole lot of demons in their closets. Just my guess. I don't think there's a lot of them that's very honest. Some are, but there's a lot that's been probably in some pretty shady stuff over the years, I do believe. Look at the money they make. Their salaries are not that astronomical, but man, they become millionaires, and I mean millions and millions of dollars after being in office. Where's it come from if they're not getting some kickbacks and doing some illegal stuff? Think about it, really. Harris has a lot to gain by being president. Trump don't have a whole lot to gain. He's got it all. He's already been there, done that. I don't know why people don't think he is there for the betterment of our country. I didn't know J.D. Vance. I didn't know anything about him until Trump picked him. I'd seen him in some, but I really didn't know anything about him. And started doing a little bit of research when me and Tiffany watched that Hillbilly Elegy, or whatever the movie is about his youth growing up. And the guy if he grew up anything like that movie shows, he had a rough life. Like, he had it. And I see things like those situations that's depicted in that movie. I see them here a lot. I mean, it happens in our area. And the Democrats in our area is giving JD a lot of flack because he refers to himself as a hillbilly. I would say most of y'all would classify me as a hillbilly. I take pride in that myself, actually, in that name. I don't have a problem with it. I feel like their misconception is J.D. Vance was not a hillbilly. Like, he lived in the suburbs of Ohio, but he uses that reference because his family grew up in Kentucky, is raised in Kentucky, not far from here at all, very close to where we live. And what I gathered from that movie is that's where he liked to be. Like, he liked that. That's where he felt peace. He felt at home with I guess it would have been his great-grandparents at their place. And I think that's why he put the hillbilly name in there, is because those people was hillbillies, I would say. And he liked them. He loved them. He liked that family. And I think those were some of the good times in his life. That's just my take on it. But I'm telling you, the guy seems very intelligent. I've watched a lot of one-on-one questioning with him, where people just, do live questioning, unscripted. And he gives some pretty good answers very quickly. And you can understand him. Like, he's a good talker, and he's very knowledgeable. He got some criticism the other day, I saw, for not smiling, not being a happy person. He's a serious person. I'm that way. Like, I can relate to that. I have been griped at by my parents and my wife and family and friends. They say I'm a hateful person, or look hateful, and look mad all the time. I'm not. Like, it's my expression, I guess. I can be in a good mood, I guess, and to them I look hateful, but I'm not. So I can relate to that. I'm just a serious person. I'm not a big person to goof off and things. I don't have a lot of close friends. I'm not the first person that somebody's going to call up generally to go do something with, because I've got a more serious attitude about things, and I mean business. So I know. I feel like that's the way he is, and that criticism bothered me the other day when he got that. But if you're wanting somebody to run this country, do you want a prankster? Do you want somebody that's laughing all the time, or do you want somebody that's going to take the job serious, that's going to be stern, and that is going to be somewhat intimidating to the countries outside of here? Think about it. Do Do you want somebody that they fear just a little bit, but yet can negotiate with? Or do you want somebody that they feel like they can just come in here and overtake and intimidate them? I feel like Waltz and Harris would be easily intimidated by some of our other foreign leaders. Trump and Vance, no, they ain't gonna be. A lot of the beliefs that the Democrats have, I just don't agree with whatsoever. As far as the moral base of them, I don't want to go into those. I think you all know what I'm talking about. Not necessarily only the abortion issue, but the gender stuff and things. It disturbs me, and we're fortunate in the area that I live in not to see a whole lot of that firsthand. There's some of it happening, but you know, I just don't agree with it. That's probably because of my religious background, a lot of it. I really don't see how anybody can agree with it, because it's not right. It's just not. But I don't want to go too deep into that side of it, but that is one thing that steers me away from the Democrat Party. The energy, the push for the clean energy and electric and all that, going green stuff. I don't have a problem with electric vehicles. I just don't want them forced on me, and forced on anybody in this country. I just don't think it's right. I think they're overstepping their boundaries when they do that. And you know, it's funny to me how that a lot of this Democrat Party can just feel fine that they had a president that was going to be the next presidential candidate. Everybody said he was fine. He's mentally strong. He's mentally fit. The Republicans are just picking on him. They're getting little excerpts out and turning it into something it's not. Then he gets up there and he gets faced at a debate with Donald Trump. And they couldn't hide it anymore. So what happens? The media turns on him. He gets threatened. I truly believe he got threatened because he didn't want to step down on his own. I don't think he willingly made that decision to step down and not become the next presidential candidate for the Democrat Party. They throw Harris in there. They throw Walz in there. The country had no say in that. And these people are okay with it. I just don't get it. I mean, how is that okay? It's a little fishy to me. Like Harris even said that Biden's fine. He's mentally sound, all this. And then, what? We see he's not. They lied to you, people. They lied to you. But they're okay. They trust them. They're going to follow them. There's people here that I know that don't agree with them coming in and taking your guns. That's another thing Harris and them's going to do. They've said they will come into your house if they get elected, if you have an AR-15, and take your guns. They will come. They're going to search your houses. If they can in any way get that approved, they'll come in and search your homes. I'm not a big gun nut, but now there's people that are. But I know people that don't support that, but they're going to vote Democrat most likely. I know people that don't agree with the push to go all electric, but they're still going to vote for Democrats. I don't know. That's hard for me to wrap my head around, because that's some pretty big issues right there that's going to affect every single one of us. We can't get away from that. That's going to affect us all. Harris says she's going to knock inflation and knock price gouging and all that. Where have they been the last 4 years? They've not done nothing. They've not touched anything. They've not said anything about these prices. Everything's fine. We got the best economy around. Our biggest expense in a month is groceries for 4 of us. I mean, it's killing us. We can't afford it. I work 2 jobs, contract jobs, I do this YouTube stuff, which it don't pay a lot. I do my little bit of farming stuff. I try to make a little dime here and there and everywhere I can, so I can have a few things that I have, and it's still not good enough. My wife works. I mean, what does it take? It's tough. I mean, it is tough. Yeah, I've got some payments on vehicles and things because I want my kids to have something to drive and things. Hayden was in recently. He's about to finish up college in the next year or two, and he's like, Dad, he said, I don't know what I'm going to do for housing when I get out of school. He said, interest rates are high. He said, I can't even find a reasonable home anywhere that I will be able to live, to work, that the jobs he's wanting to work at, that's less than $400,000. How in the world can you go in and take on a $400,000 debt on a just, I don't know, like, what would a home loan be right now? Does anybody know what the interest rates are? I'm sure it's not cheap. You take that percentage rate on $400,000, you're going to be paying on that the rest of your life. We was fortunate to get low interest rates when we bought our home. Prices was reasonable then, and over the last few years here, things have just went plumb stupid. Vehicle interest rates on used vehicles, I've heard 6 to 8%, and we need somebody that's going to help us with that, and I feel like Donald Trump and Vance will be good for us. I've heard people say he's attacking Social Security. I have not personally heard him say anything about attacking Social Security or doing anything that's going to do away with it. I did hear him say he was going to drop in the taxes for senior citizens, that they don't have to pay income tax on Social Security, which I feel like would be a good thing for them. He's not going to make people pay taxes on tips, which I feel like is a good thing. And it baffles me. Like, there's a certain group of people I can see voting for Harris and them, but there's still some people that I feel like know better that's going to, and I just don't get it. Like, I know, I kind of feel like I know the issues that they're voting for them for, but are they directly affected by those issues? Not really. And some of this other stuff that they're really going to kill us on, everybody's going to be affected by. We need to be smart. If you're a Democrat, do what you want to do. But I'm just telling you my thoughts. And Landon bought a big, 10-foot long Trump sign we got hanging on our front porch. I've never been to a political event in my lifetime. 38 years, I have never been to any kind of political event, and I plan to go Monday night to one. For Republican. Trump Force 47 thing. I don't know exactly what all it entails, but I'm going to go to it. And me and Landon, I think, plan to go. It's going to be local. I feel passionate about my choice. Some of you may not. If you don't like what I've said here tonight, or today, or whenever you're watching it, so be it. I hope you don't have a negative view on me. I don't look down on people that see things a different way. Most people are not going to change at this point. Everybody's got their minds made up. But you all know where I stand. And, it's one of them deals. I've kind of got somewhat burnt out on this YouTube stuff. I love everybody that watches it, that leaves comments and things. I absolutely love the comments and the people I've met and all that. I'm not saying I'm quitting, but I'm to the point right now that I'm not afraid of anything really for related to YouTube. You know, if you unsubscribe, or I don't want you to, but if you hate me because of this and want to, that's your business. You know, I didn't do anything controversial because I wanted to get sponsorships and this and that, but I pretty well come to the conclusion that I'm an old hillbilly that talks Appalachian, and the outsiders they don't understand that and think I'm an idiot. Sometimes I feel like with the accent we have, Hayden said it down at school, he gets people think he's less intelligent because of the accent he has, and his is not nowhere near as strong as mine is. And he has to prove them wrong. Hayden's a very intelligent kid, but he's got that stigma. I don't know if that's the right word, but people judge him because of how he speaks and because of his accent. And he proves them wrong. Like, they learn who Hayden is pretty quick. And, you know, I've dealt with that. I don't care. I mean, I'm happy with who I am and the things I have. And, you know, I'm satisfied. So I don't really, if somebody wants to judge me, pour it on it. I don't care. But anyways, I feel like that's why I don't get any big sponsorships. Probably never will, because of the way I talk more than anything. And at this point, don't care. You know, I've got what I need, got what I want, most of it, and I'm happy. I'll continue to making videos along the way. If you want to watch them, I appreciate it. If you don't, that's fine. And I appreciate all of you that's been with me. And I hate it's come to this, but I feel like the status of our country in these next 4 years is very important. I could be wrong in my assumptions of what's going to happen, depending on who gets elected. I hope I'm not. But, you know, somebody's going to be wrong. I don't know who. I'm afraid that if Trump gets elected, there's going to be a lot of riots and things. I feel like if Harris gets elected, they won't be riots. That's just because the people are different on both sides. And we'll just see in November. But don't be fooled by the media. Watch it. Watch both sides. Learn for yourself. Like I can't stand to watch Kamala Harris, but I will watch her and listen to her, and she's a good speaker as long as it's scripted. But now if it's gets to the point where she gets questioned and she don't have a script to go by, then we're going to see things a little differently. I'm looking forward to a debate with both of them, and I know Trump and Vance can answer questions because they're doing it every day, day in and day out, and they welcome it. Harris and Walls, I don't think do, because they can't think and speak for themselves. Don't trust them. I just don't. I mean, look what they did with the President of the United States. They have strong-armed him. They hid his weaknesses until it was beneficial to them, and then they threw him under the bus. So they're not here for your interest. They're here for their interest. You remember that, and you think about it. But that's it. Appreciate all of you, and we'll catch you on the next one if you're still here.